2, 1. All right, John here. Once again, joined with.
The Rambo Minion Matt Thomas on Studio Redband.
And picking up again with the Lost Stallone films. Talking about his unproduced films that were talked about at one point, considered, thought about. And now we're going to get into Gale Force.
Yeah, so it says for Gale Force that screenwriter David Chappie wrote the first draft of the script in 1984, and he tried to sell it to some movie studios, but at the time, nobody was interested in it. Between 1987 and 1989, he wrote 6 more drafts of the script, and then in 1989, many movie studios went crazy. After his final draft of the script, Carolco bought the script for $500,000, and they told him that if the movie gets made, he will get an additional $200,000. What a time for screenwriting, huh?
Because since you're a little bit more knowledgeable in the Salai area, like Gale Force, what have you heard throughout time about this project, or like before we get into it?
Well, I remember hearing like that. Well, the big rumor was that this was kind of like not the cliffhanger prequel, but kind of like could have been cliffhanger, and then it was changed. There's a character in here who actually reminds me a lot of Connect from Cliffhanger, but I don't know. I know Jack told me it wasn't that at all. It was its own thing entirely. And I do know that we're going to get to it later on, but Jack had sent me the Starlog piece. I'm not sure if he sent us the whole Starlog piece or if he just sent us a piece of it. But yeah, in that, Stallone wanted to rework this into John Rambo 4. I think that's what it was called. Or Rambo Return of Rambo, or Rambo Returns, or something like that. John Rambo Returns. Or John Rambo Returns. Which could have been cool because there's a scene in here that's such a Rambo scene. Even in this version. Which I guess we'll get to in here. But if we don't get to it, I'll just throw it in. There's a suit-up scene.
Oh, really?
And it reminds me a lot. Yeah, it reminds me a lot of when Rambo's at the outpost in First Blood, and he's like going through all the gun shop. It was very much like that.
That's cool.
Yeah, so it says, here's a short plot synopsis. Willie, I think his name is in the film is Willie Peacock, which is a colorful name.
Yeah. Don't think about it too much, people. Don't give him much. Don't no.
They should have said. They should have sent this to NBC.
He goes from John Spartan to Willie Peacock.
Willie Peacock, man, this could have been interesting.
Or Peacock Willie.
Yeah, like there's a scene in here where someone fires off an RPG in an alley, and Sly's trying to run from it in the water because the town's submerging, right? So he's like in the water in the alley, he's trying to run from it, blows up another building, and a piece, like a chunk of wood from the explosion, hits him in the face and gets stuck in his face, and he has to pull it out of his face.
Wow.
It makes you think, like, that could have been a cool Rambo scene, too, because Rambo gets hurt a lot and has to sew himself up and shit, right?
Now, if I understand, and before we get into the plot again, now I've heard of this before, and this is kind of like, this is where the idea was to have, like, sort of a Die Hard in a hurricane type of situation.
Yeah. Sorry.
Or kind of like, I'm just trying to think of, like, maybe if you had, like, Daylight, if you think of that movie, and you give it a Die Hard type of scenario.
Yeah. I can see that. Because it fits into that genre so well.
But
So it says here that.
oh yeah, go
Oh,
ahead.
sorry.
All right, you were saying, go
Okay.
ahead.
Okay. So the brief plot synopsis is that Willie is an ex-Navy SEAL with a very dark past, which includes accidentally killing a kid in a drunk driving accident. Sometime after he got out of prison, he found a small-time job working on docks in some town by the sea. But after a group of modern-day pirates attack, rob, and kill some people on the docks one night, he also loses his job and finds out that back in his hometown, his family member has died. So he goes back for his funeral. Of course, not too many townspeople are happy to see him, and he doesn't want to stay there. But then a huge hurricane hits the town, and some pirates who killed those people in the place where he worked show up. And after most of the townspeople have already escaped, the pirates wipe out a few remaining police officers and start robbing the town. However, Willie realizes what is going on and decides to stop the pirates and save the town. And the rest of the script was a Die Hard in a Hurricane, which is how many people describe the script.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But what kind of pirates are we talking about here? I wonder. Like,
Well, like when I heard about this, I thought it was just like pirates. You know? Like I could see some like cool, kind of like Caribbean-esque pirates, kind of like Expendables pirates, or kind of like the pirates like in Rambo 4.
yeah.
But they're kind of like, what they kind of reminded me of a lot was the villains from Die Hard 2.
Oh, those types. Okay.
Yeah.
Like the William Sadler, the people working for him.
Yeah, like I could have seen William Sadler as the big bad guy in here.
That would have been interesting.
But yeah. I was watching him today on that Bill and Ted thing.
Oh yeah, that was pretty fun.
Yeah, Comic-Con. And I watched the Constantine one too.
That's a great movie.
Yeah, I watched a bit of it. I gotta watch the rest of it. Never seen it before.
William Sadler would be perfect for this. I mean, he's kind of like, he's one of those guys. I mean, look at Die Hard 2 and some other films. Especially, like, in that one, he was such a cool, doesn't say much, but he works as a villain.
Yeah. Yeah. He's really good. He's good because he can be really psychological, but he can be really endearing at the same time.
Yeah.
So like you can have him as a bad guy or you can have him as a good guy.
Or I wonder, almost, if I say this, it sounds very Waterworld-ish, but maybe if you had like Dennis Hopper or something, play the lead pirate. Yeah. Especially around this time. I mean, you had Super Mario Brothers Speed, so.
Yeah. Have him like with 2 chainsaws.
Yeah.
Like in Texas Chainsaw.
Huffing that gas, like in Blue Velvet. No. No, you don't have to go that far, but it's just an idea.
Yeah, he's really good. Dennis Hopper's really good. Like I find he's really underrated.
Yeah, rest in peace, Dennis Hopper.
Yeah, man.
But now we're getting into some of the script details. This is going to be cool.
Yes, here's a review of the script with more detailed plot synopsis and history, which you can find at http://scriptshadow.blogspot.ca/04/Gale-Force.html.
Don't forget to copy and paste.
Yeah. So Carolco worked on the project from 1989 till 1991. They hired Remy Harlan to direct the film and paid him $3 million for the job. Stallone was going to play the main role, and Carolco was also going to give the movie a $40 million budget. Even though they bought the script for a bunch of money, and a lot of people praised it for how good it was, both Carolco and Harlan wanted the script to be rewritten. Harlan also wanted for the script to have more action sequences, which would get bigger and bigger. As the story of the film would progress, several different writers were hired, and each one of them was paid a lot of money to rewrite the script. That's a question I had before, which was, if they gave that other guy all that money and promised them all that other money, how much did they promise to all these other people who wrote it?
Yeah.
That's a lot of money just to go to the writing. Like, out of 40 million, how much is that? That's at least, what, a couple million?
Yeah.
Wow. So at one point, the script was changed so that the main character was turned from ex-Navy SEAL who returns to his hometown for a funeral of a family member into fugitive, who finds himself in the town where the hurricane hits and when pirates attack. Sorry.
Are you good?
That lasagna's hitting me. Okay, so one of the guys who worked on rewrites was Dean Devlin, who worked a lot with Roland Emmerich and wrote the scripts for films like Universal Soldier, Stargate, Independence Day, and Richard Tuggle, one of the writers who worked on the script for Commando and who wrote Escape from Alcatraz, also worked rewrites. But there were also some other writers who worked on rewrites and who probably only made the script a lot worse. What I mean by that is that some of those guys worked on the scripts for pieces of shit like Superman 4 Basic Instinct 2. So even Joe Esterhaus, I think we're going to get to him later on too, because there is, I don't want to misquote the story, but there's a big story with him in here somewhere regarding Rambo 2 and a 500-page script and like a rivalry.
Wow.
Anyway, so even Joe Ezra, a screenwriter who wrote a lot of erotic thrillers like Basic Instinct, was hired and paid $500,000 to rewrite the script, just because he was known for writing scripts and selling them for high prices, no matter were they good or not, or were going to get made into films or not. And that asshole didn't give a shit about the original Gale Force script and just wrote another shitty erotic thriller with the same title, hoping that the studio will choose to make that movie instead. Of course, they told him to fuck off, but he still kept the money. Yeah, he wrote something else. He was on something else that never got made that was supposed to be really big. I want to say Tarzan. You know the one with the guy from Mortal Kombat.
Oh, Christopher Lambert?
Yeah, with Raiden.
Yeah.
Raiden's Tarzan. I want to say Greystoke, but I'm probably wrong. It was probably something else.
Well, that's the first time I've heard of his name.
Yeah, that guy's. Ugh. There's like a love triangle kind of thing in here too, and you could see that he probably would have tried to turn that into the sleazy.
Like a subplot.
Yeah, the sleazy wife ex-girlfriend thing.
Who would have played that?
I really see Madeline Stowe in here. I don't know what it is, but Madeline Stowe and Stallone. I don't know. It's just who I think would have been really great because they had really great chemistry, and they only got to work with that chemistry for a little bit. On The Zookeeper was Stallone and Cher.
Yeah. I didn't see The Zookeeper, so.
I saw a bit of it, and they have really good screen chemistry, those two. Really, really, really good. It's something I wish that they would explore deeper. For this, I could see it too, because Cher, at that time, she was acting.
Yeah.
Mermaids, and there was something else, right?
Was it Moons?
Mask.
Yeah, Mask. What's the other one? There's one with you mentioned Mermaids. I forgot about that.
Yeah, that's with Winona Ryder, right?
I believe. I've heard about it. I haven't seen.
Okay. I only saw it one time, right when it came out. So that was, forever ago.
Wow.
I remember it being good. I think Bob Hoskins was in that, too.
Yeah, I believe so.
Wow, I forgot all about that movie. I gotta watch that movie again. My wife would probably like that movie. Okay, so where was I? By the Time, I think?
Yeah, that's it.
All right. Okay. So by the time the project was canceled, the script went through a bunch of different rewrites and drafts to the point where everything from the original script was gone, and the final version of it turned out to be really bad. Crawford spent over $4 million on all the script rewrites, and all for nothing since they never made the film. They were always known for spending a lot of money for no good reason, which is why their studio was finished by the time they made Cutthroat Island. So you think like for $40 million, right? And they had to pay all these people off. Do you think they wrote off the rest of the $40 million on taxes, or do you think they kept it, or do you think they tried to do something else with it? Or do you think it was just a write-off, like, oh, there's $40 million?
I have to figure that they probably used it for something else.
Yeah, I would hope so.
Yeah.
Because that's a lot of money to lose. I don't think I think if they would have done it, I don't think they would have made it. I don't think they would have made the $40 million.
Well,
they would have had to, like, build. The only way they could have done that is if they would have built it on, built half of it on a soundstage with all the water connected to it,
yeah,
and half of it on an internal soundstage. Because I don't see it. I think it would have maybe 120 million, maybe.
You think for that time even?
Yeah.
Yeah, because
it's really big. Like, when you read it, it's really big. Especially when the town starts, like, sinking and stuff. It's really big because there's a lot of stuff, like, like, submerged and inside and outside and
yeah, it's kind
water
of like,
everywhere.
It kind of reminds me of Hard Rain with Christian Slater.
It's raining too all the time, right? So it's just water coming down and water coming down.
So imagine a town, kind of like, Hard Rain, Daylight mix, and again, you throw in that Die Hard type of plot.
Yeah.
It would have been really cool to see that. I mean, because once again, what you would see later in Daylight is that Stallone plays a normal guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, where in Daylight he's a paramedic, here he's an ex-Navy SEAL.
Yeah, it would have been really cool to see. I would like to see maybe like Jesse Ventura in this too.
Yeah, make an appearance.
Yeah.
As one of the pirates.
Like the brother, he has a brother, right? And the brother and the wife, like, the wife was his ex-girlfriend and he went to jail. And then the wife, his girlfriend got with his brother. And I really could see Michael Biehn as his brother. I don't know what it is, but reading it, it kind of felt like, like Michael Biehn in Planet Terror?
Yeah.
Kind of felt like that.
That would have been cool. Mm-hmm. Have Stallone and Michael Biehn.
And then there's the father of the boy that he accidentally killed too, who's in there too. And I spent a lot of time wondering like who could play that, like maybe like a Nick Nolte or a Gary Busey or someone a little unhinged.
Yeah. Maybe like a. Now you got me thinking now.
I like.
Randall Tex Cobb. He's unhinged.
Like one actor I really liked, and I think he only did one movie, was the guy from Joe. Have you seen Joe? Like the guy who plays Ty Sheridan's dad.
No, I haven't seen Joe.
Well, they found this homeless guy, and they cast him in it, and he was really good. Like, really, really, really good. Like, authentic. Unhinged. Like, he's not even acting. He's just like, I guess that's how he is. And then the day of the premiere, they went to pick him up, and he was dead.
Wow.
Yeah. But a performance, amazing, amazing, amazing performance. I could see maybe him playing that guy, even though he's a little bit older.
Now, I still have to check out Joe. I've heard a lot of stuff about it.
Yeah. Such a good movie. Such a good movie. Okay. So, but, yeah, they were always known for spending a lot of money for no reason, which is why the studio was finished by the time they made Cutthroat Island eventually. entire Gale Force project was canceled because they couldn't figure out how they were going to make the special effects for the film, and because they thought the budget would be too high. But Harlan still kept his was it $3 million?
Yeah, $3 million.
$3 million paycheck. He should have got more for that.
Yeah.
$3 million paycheck, even though he never made the film. And he and Stallone went on to make Cliffhanger for Coralco. But get this, the movie had a budget of $70 million, which was almost the double the budget Gale Force would have had. You know what I think saved a lot of that is Cliffhanger had like a lot of elements of like ice and snow.
Yeah, and you think about the scale of the film, taking up to the mountains and
Yeah.
that.
So it's kind of cheaper in a way. Like they wouldn't have had to spend on like rigging for piping and stuff to make sure the water didn't leak and all that stuff.
Yeah. But at least back then, you wouldn't have like it would be all practical sets, all practical.
Yeah.
Nowadays it just cheap out with CGI and green backdrop.
Yeah, just hook up a sprinkler and.
Yeah, that's all you need. Do it the old school way.
Oh, and it says here that no, Cliffhanger and Gale Force were not the same scripts. I have to mention that because I notice a lot of fans keep saying that, but it's total bullshit. So it goes on to say here that it's highly possible that Stallone rewrote the original Gale Force from 1993 and turned it into one of the first versions of the scripts for Rambo 4. This version had a very similar story, with Rambo returning home to reunite with his brother, who is a town sheriff. People in town who know all about Rambo's past and kick him out, and a bunch of bad guys who come to the town to kill Rambo's brother right when the hurricane hits. So Rambo comes back to save the day. And in 1995, Stallone almost started another similar film, No Safe Haven, which was also never made. You know what's weird is when Rambo 5 started up, they put out that notice for Rambo's brother. And I know a lot of people were like saying what they thought about that. And I was like, it'd be interesting, because it would have been his half brother or something, because he was like half brother from after he left.
Yeah.
After he left to war with presumably a stepmother. So that could have been really interesting, like imagine playing around with that. I know they scrapped that, but I know that it was in a lot of talks, along with some other characters who were taken out of the film, and a lot of set pieces that were shown online to show other action set pieces that were supposed to be in Rambo 5 that were completely lost. So it makes you wonder, okay, maybe Stallone put out that extended cut or whatever, but it makes you wonder, what about, like the 200 other things that they were going to do?
Yeah, and I have to ask though, like, since we're on that note a little bit, it mentions here how it was turned into one of the first versions of Rambo 4, like a script idea. Like, what are your thoughts on that?
I like it. I know, like we were talking last night. I'm okay with all of them. Like all versions of Rambo. I think there's like 46. I'm probably wrong, but I think around 40. My last count was 46 different versions of Rambo. So.
And again, that's just the stuff in between people for like the different treatments and scripts and ideas and.
Yeah. So this could have been. It could have been really cool, because I'm sure if they would have made it Rambo, they would have changed it again. Like I'm sure like it would have had this kind of feel, but I think Stallone would have made it more personal. Like he would have, like with First Blood, he cut out all the fat and he just like went for like that really lean 90 minutes.
Yeah, this could have been like kind of like 90 minutes. I had a question.
Like it was like 3 hours of like a lot. It's kind of weird. Like he always knows how to go in and cut it down to like, I don't know, like all the stuff that you wouldn't need. He just gets rid of it all the time.
Does it ever mention? Because I think you've went through the script before or read some of that.
Yeah, we did this one way back in on your old channel where
Okay.
we did the whole script. Remember? We
Yeah,
did the whole.
I'm fuzzy on the
Uh,
details a little bit. Does it say like the location, like what kind of the name of the town was,
I'm
or
trying to remember. I know
maybe
it's like a beachside town.
like beach, like a Amity Island type?
It kind of reminded me of that, like a Jersey Shore kind of thing, kind of town,
Yeah.
like very cut off, but very like picket fence suburbial. At the same time, but kind of like fun, like where you would go for spring break or something.
Uh huh.
Yeah, man.
Why did
I gotta read that one. I'm
why
gonna hunt that one. I'll send you that one, man. You can upload that one.
why didn't we get this movie?
I had somewhere. Yeah, we did the whole. We did that one. I think at the same time we did uh, Demolition Man, Van Damme, Seagal.
Yeah.
Demolition Man.
And
With
there's
Wild Man.
yeah, but there's a little bit left here with Gale Force.
Yeah. So maybe it's a coincidence, but in mid '90s, after everything that happened with Gale Force, there were a number of spec scripts which all had very similar storyline, and all of which were also never made into films. Like, for example, Maelstrom, which was about a federal agent protecting, the woman, from a hitman hired by her husband, powerful crime boss, who has taken out a contract on her life to prevent her from testifying against him. Excuse me. And who hunts them down when he discovers their location. And there was also The Long Range, early script by Ken Nolan, writer of Black Hawk Down 2001, written in 1995, and which he sold for $600,000 to Universal. Story about an inmate who escapes prison during catastrophic hurricane and goes to a town where their leader has hidden the money he robbed from the bank to take revenge on corrupt cops and friends who set him up. And it would all take place during the flood. A similar film was made a couple of years later, Hard Rain, 1998, with Christian Slater. I gotta see that too. It had the girl from Mario in it, right? Daisy?
Samantha Mathis.
Yeah.
I forgot. I need to watch it again. I know Randy Quaid's in it and Morgan Freeman.
Yeah. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you guys the rewrite of Gale Force at the same time. Let me just cross this off so I don't forget. All right.
And
So
this
Rambo
is
4. Oh, sorry.
and this is real quick, like like a different, I guess some information about what they had in mind for this the Gale Force Rambo 4 idea.
Yeah, it's Rambo 4 possible rewrite of Gale Force 1993. In November 1993 interview for Starlog, Stallone mentioned how at the time he was working on the fourth Rambo film and how the story would have been about Rambo returning home, but he is kicked out due to his reputation. However, once some criminals, which his brother, the town sheriff, sent to jail, escape and come to kill him at the same time, when the hurricane hits, Rambo comes back to save him. It's possible that the script for this version of the fourth film was partially inspired by it or was even written off Gale Force canceled Carago project, in which Stallone was involved between 1989 and 1991, which would have been about a former Navy SEAL who was to fight against the modern-day pirates who attacked his hometown during a hurricane. Stallone was also involved with another similar canceled movie around 1995 titled No Safe Haven, which we will get to soon. Original source Star Log, November 1993.
There's a link here.
You can find that at https://archive.org/details/magazine-196/page/N27. And you can also find that the actual whole reading of that, I think it's like 4 or 5 pages, on on Rambo Me. No, on the archive.org site for Studio Redband. I think it's called For John Rambo Returns. That episode, you can listen to the whole read of that. Yeah. So the actor reveals that he has done that he is close to closing a deal on the fourth Rambo movie, and that the jury is out on whether the sequel is going to be Rambo's Last Hurrah. This will be closer to what the first Rambo movie was, he explains. It will not be political. He returns to his hometown, where his brother is sheriff, and he discovers that his reputation has preceded him in a bad way. He gets run out of town, but when some criminals his brother sent to jail and come back to kill him, and a hurricane hits town, John Rambo returns. The story is kind of a Cain and Abel thing, and it would be great visually. I don't remember if this was just me and Jack talking, or if this was something that came up, something about a dust storm. Because it would have been in Arizona, right? It would have been in Bowie. So maybe having a dust storm involved somehow.
Oh, is that what you've heard?
I'm not sure. I know, like, when I get through all the notes, I know when I get through all the emails, it's in there somewhere. But I'm not sure if that was a real thing or if it was something that we were just talking about. I can't remember.
Because you wonder what kind of town, because, I mean, hurricanes don't really hit Arizona, right?
Yeah.
So is it somewhere else? I mean, is it in Texas somewhere, or is it the Bayou?
Yeah.
I mean, but what's your thoughts on that? I mean, because
I like it a lot.
It does remind me of the first movie, but if you throw in sort of like if you take First Blood and Hard Rain, I kind of get those vibes from it.
Yeah.
First Blood, yeah.
Like I really like that idea, and I like there is like that scene in the gun shop that is so First Blood, and like pulling that piece of wood out of his face, that's really First Blood. I'm trying to remember how the showdown at the end goes, and I can't remember. I know there's a thing with the boat because the kid gets injured, and like Stallone's fighting someone in the water in front of a building, and the wife has to shoot at them, and I forget how it goes down. There's also a scene where you think like they're gonna do stuff to the wife too, you know. It's pretty scary.
I wonder though.
Pretty scary.
I have to wonder because you're talking about a hurricane here, and how in Rambo 5, which I didn't see in the theater, but later on I discovered that opening scene with the flash flood. Is there any sort of like reference there, you think, or was that on purpose? Or
I think that honestly, like if I had to give my personal opinion, I think that was Hunter. I think that totally was Hunter driven. That totally was that whole opening, that extended opening to Rambo 5. That was without a doubt Hunter
from the Hunter book.
Well, it felt exactly like Hunter from the book, and it was very it's weird. Like when Hunter starts out, like there's a kid who's missing, and Sly has to come in and like rescue the kid. And he puts on this crazy gap, and it kind of feels like Rambo with the tunic from First Blood, and he's like out in the woods, and he's up against the elements and the weather, and he has to find the kid and bring him back, and that just kind of felt like that because they go into things like you're this tracker and come out and you help out doing these rescue missions with people for free. You don't have to do that, and you come out and you do it all the time. Because Hunter is actually pretty wealthy, but he lives off the land, totally like Rambo would. So it's just one of those, like Uh,
It's one of those
if,
things.
if you read Hunter and then watch it, you can see like a lot of similarity in there. And I've always wondered about that. Why Sly put that in there when he should have hung on to that and kept it just for Hunter.
Yeah, because it's weird because I saw Rainbow Five in a theater. I didn't see it in a theater, but in other places it showed it.
Yeah,
Um,
I think UK or something like that.
but I wonder if that was a reference to, let's say, Gale Force, or is it a nod to the plot of Gale Force, which was never made? I mean, which
It could be, but I just feel it's more like the characters more made out like Hunter. It's weird because Hunter and Rambo, there's like a weird fine line between the two.
what's the,
There's a lot of similarity.
what's the author's name again?
James Byron Huggins.
Yeah, so people out there who don't know about the book, you can check out the book. I haven't read it. I've heard so much about it.
Mm.
But for first
Very
listeners,
good book. The sequel is coming out, and I can't wait. Can't wait to review that for everybody.
I guess like, do you feel that should have been like that scene by itself? You know, I know we're kind of getting away from Gale Force and all. I mean, which we're pretty much done discussing, but that scene, that flash flood in Rainbow Five, do you feel like, oh, that could have been a different movie? Like that could have been, Stallone could still do Gale Force.
Like when I saw that, I was totally freaked out. Like,
Am I watching Rambo? Am I watching Daylight too?
Rambo 5 is a weird one because the more I watch it, the more I see these little things taken from other places that why did Sly put him in here? Because he really thought, like, I guess if he really thought this was the end, he would have killed Rambo off. But like, I'm not sure what he was trying to do. Like, it kind of feels like he was just kind of putting together little pieces of like 10 different movie scripts. Like, it didn't feel like it was, driven. Like, and plus with the whole Taken angle, it really didn't feel like. It was just, it just kind of felt like a caper. It just kind of felt like, it's weird. It's like a jigsaw puzzle almost, because you can watch it and you say like, oh, that's from there, and that's from there, and that's from there. Like you say, it was interesting. Like the flash flood sequence, like, it's weird. It's like, I would assume that he would have saved that for Hunter. You know what would have been cool?
If it wasn't for me,
if it wasn't really cool.
If it wasn't a Rambo film, I probably would have liked it more.
Yeah, but really neat is if they would have filmed Rambo 5, I guess, this way, like the way we got it, right? The way you saw it in the theater. But before the movie, have that scene as a trailer for Hunter.
Yeah.
That would have been fucking sick. Can you imagine that as a trailer to Hunter, like before Rambo 5? That would have been spectacular.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I still have to get familiar with the book.
Yeah, it's a very, very good read. And this new one, wow, this new one is I can't wait.
But we discussed, I mean, talking about Gale Force, I mean, we've covered, every bit of it, and talked about the, early treatment for Rambo 4, Gale Force rewrite. So, so is there any final thought on Gale Force?
I just really like it. Like I was saying yesterday, I wish I could have seen all of these, because I would have loved it if Rambo got that James Bond treatment where you could have like 30 Rambo sequels.
Yeah.
I would have watched them all. I would have watched them all, bought them all, reviewed them all. That's why I love looking back at these, because just because they didn't make it doesn't mean they weren't great.
Yeah.
And you read so many of these, and they're just like intriguing, because if you love the character, you can imagine the character in that situation. This is no exception.
And especially the next one we're going to get into.
Yeah.
So
which one? Oh yeah.
So we're gonna. So this will be it for Gale Force, and we're gonna we'll be right back, and we're gonna this is it for Gale Force, and stay tuned for the next one.
Yeah. Oh, you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it.